guys. Anyway, good morning, and good morning. It is morning. I'm up. I am up and ready to make breakfast this morning. We're gonna have us some biscuits in the air fryer, and we're gonna have some. We're gonna have us some bacon. I'm ready to cut me some bacon up, put it on the grill, and then we're gonna make some eggs. I'm gonna make some eggs, but then I put milk in my eggs, and of course I told everybody that I use the plant-based milk, which is almond milk, and it makes the eggs so good, so fluffy, so nice. But right now I'm cutting up my bacon so that we can you know, I like to eat mine on the whole pizza slab because I'm a high protein diet kind of person. I normally keep myself on a high protein diet. Like in the mornings I eat either like 2 boiled eggs and 2 pieces of bacon, or I eat you know, like just something like that. Sometimes I do make myself grits, but if I make grits, I don't use salt. I use like onion. I use onion powder, and I use, what else do I use? Mrs. Dash, I use her line of products. I use her line of product with no salt. Because all I want is the season. I don't want all those MSGs and things of that nature. Because like I stated earlier, I swell when I use MSG. I have angioedema in my face when I eat too much of MSG. So I have to be careful what I eat. Very careful what I eat. I've always had problems with angioedema in my face, as from a little girl all the way up until now. I've always had that problem. So in order for me to keep myself, Nick, will you bring me a towel, dear? I learned how to cook my food and make them right. A towel. We don't have enough towel in the bathroom. I learned to cook my food so that I can eat it and it won't eat me. I learned, like, let me tell you. So, thank you, dear. So, like, I started this regimen where I was taking vitamins. I was taking vitamins and I was taking simethicone. First thing in the morning, I would get up taking my simethicone so that it can diffuse the acidity of my stomach. And then I take a vitamin. And like I told y'all, if I take 2 prenatal vitamins, I'm like all day 3 o'clock eating. If I take a multivitamin, which is most of the time is going to be my one-a-days. My one-a-days, I use one a day digest my food so good. I don't feel hungry. I don't have cravings for sugars. I don't have cravings for carbohydrates. I like to eat green salads. I eat, you know, just healthy little snacks throughout the day to keep me on track. Those are the things I do for myself. And of course, like, you know, whenever I do get back on my birth controls, because I must admit, I don't really use birth controls because I don't have to. But anyway, like I stated, when I do get back onto my birth controls are very helpful. It helps me because it clears out all of the lymph. It cleans my lymph and all that type of stuff. It keeps me, you know, of course I'm already regular. My menstrual is I've never had problems with my menstrual. My menstrual's never been off. I've never had that problem. So like I'm telling everybody, if you are somebody that's pretty much your body is telling you that it wants to, but it can't, then the only thing that I recommend is first starting by cleansing. Utilize the nutrients that are already against the walls of the intestines, so that when you do release that stuff, it won't tear the colon, and it will not tear the rectum. Because a lot of people, they complain of constipation and compaction and all that type of stuff, but a lot of that comes from us not utilizing vitamins, not removing the nutrients from the source that is within. I'm a heavy wheat eater. I eat wheat. I don't really eat the processed breads like that. I don't eat that stuff. So I don't have problems with that. Although I might be, like I said, I may be bigger than a normal person. You know, everybody thinks I should be, but I probably look like I'm big, but I'm not. I'm not a big person at all. I'm not big at all. I'm small. I'm very small. But you know that the camera is going to give us extras. So that's something that we all need to understand. It gives us extra, but anyways, like I stated, to those that are out there this morning, you get up, eat breakfast, don't miss a meal. Stop missing meals to compensate so that you can lose weight. That don't make sense. You eat every time your body tells you to eat, you eat. I don't care how many times it is, eat. I'm one of those. I don't turn food away, baby. I eat. When I say I eat up so much food it don't make sense. But when I eat, it does not make me sick. I don't feel as if I'm overeating. I don't feel as if I'm because like I said, I choose the right foods to eat. Like from the other day, y'all know, if you're gonna eat a salad down here in Mobile, you're gonna go to Zaxby's. I had a salad, and it was so delicious, so delicious. I love that salad. Zaxby's salads are very delicious, very, very healthy, and you can feel the food. You know, you can feel the punch from what you eat. Well, that's me. I eat a whole lot of green salads. Green. A lot of people, they cannot eat green. A whole lot of people do not eat green. We do not recommend that you go and get on a whole regimen of folate for the remainder of your life, but we do recommend you at least take a 7-day dosage of it. You don't know how much it will help you. It brings your body out of sometimes it may bring your body out of organ rejection. You know, it's just different things. It's a whole lot of stuff that we go through and we don't understand what it is. You know, like the doctors don't have answers. We do have the answers. We have the answers, but it's the fact that we all have to get on one accord. Because we're all doers of the works of God. And when we're doers and hearers of the word and the word of God, then we all can live and have our being. We won't be a catastrophe to someone else's family because you came in and you had tuberculosis, a form of tuberculosis that's not treatable, or you have a form of some type of sickness that is not treatable, and then we go home and, or you know, those that are treating you go home and take that home to their family. Yeah, you know, that's a whole lot to think about. We don't ever think about that. But what we're all wanting is for everybody to get on board. And you gotta fight the fight of life. You can't just sit down on life. Life is very precious. It's very precious. And that's why I tell everybody, you know, for me, very easy going. I'm very easy going. I like to listen. I'm very obedient. I agree to agree, especially when it comes to my health. Whatever you tell me is wrong with me, I believe it. Because you know why? If I don't believe that, then I'll fall for anything. Like, I can fall for anything. And I'm like, well, no, this doctor told me this. And maybe, you know, if I do even have to go get a second opinion, guess what? It was just because because the first time was your answer. You just have to know what you're doing. Look, and then this is what I use also. I use olive oil. I use a whole lot of olive oil when I cook. Initially, and I guess I started in about 2014 utilizing olive oil. As like I said, it's pressed. It's going through a process that is very strenuous. So that it will not put our body through the same strenuous process as any other saturated fat would, with a high cholesterol and all that type stuff. And, you know, like I said, I'm so fearful of just knowing that if that my cholesterol is too high, because I've sat down and ate saturated fats, unsaturated, what is it, unsaturated fats and all that type of stuff. It's just stuff. But that's why I say I choose to eat correct, so that I will not be a part of statistics at an early age of life. And that's what I say. You know, a lot of times, because a lot of us, like like a lot of times they say, well, I have hypertension problem, and when I get upset, my hypertension goes up, things of that nature. No, it's not your hypertension. It's really not. It's not that you're hypertensive. It's just all of the chemical processes that are actually going on within the body. Let me get that the pill plate. Now, all of the chemical processes that are going on in your body, it begins to break down the body and make you feel not good. And we don't want that. You don't want to not feel good. You want to keep the best of health. So that's how we destroy it. We destroy ourselves. We destroy the circulatory system, the pulmonary system. We have all type of problems just by being angry and adding those extra hormones that are there. Those extra hormones that's not needed. Adrenaline begin to kick in and rescue you and let you know, look, I have to shut you down so that I can fix you. And that's not good. You know, those are the things that we all have to understand when it comes to adrenaline and your hormones and thyroid. We don't have thyroid problem. It's the adrenal. It's the adrenaline that the body has gone through, and it's continuously going through because we will not shut it off. If you don't shut it, anything that you don't shut off is going to eventually turn itself off. It'll turn itself off. You have to turn it off. So that's the thing. It's like sometimes, like, I use the example. I said, when men walk up to me, I turn them off. Like I do the most to turn them off, because I don't want them to talk to me that way. Because I'm not just anybody you walk up to and say, well, you're beautiful. And I use that system to turn them off, because don't walk around with adrenaline for me and have all that work on my life. Those are the things that a lot of people don't understand. It happens. Those things happen. Of course, so those are the things. That's why I tell you, adrenaline works that way. So, it produces heat. It throws the female factor into what they call it menopause. The female factor. And that's the thing. It's like, why you walking up to me, whether you're a girl or boy, we all have to understand to turn ourselves off. Don't allow adrenaline to remain that way. That's the thing. That's why I tell people, be careful how adrenaline gets you to going. I'm not being mean, but I'm being honest. Be honest with yourself. Do those things that make you feel good, and those things that keep your system turned off. And then when you get ready to use it, you have it, and it's really good. It's really good. It works. It doesn't tear up. You can always go back and fix that about you. So now I'm making eggs. I have these. Let me see. These are the Eggland's Best cage-free large brown eggs. I have these large brown eggs, and these are the eggs that we eat. I eat, to be honest though, my preference is egg white, because like I said, cholesterol. But one time a day, if I eat eggs one time a day, I trust and believe I'm not ready to eat a whole lot of the the yolk. I don't like eating egg yolk. But anyways, like I stated, but these are the things like we have to understand how to turn our bodies off and on. Like we stated, like people, you got people they know how to turn your bodies off and on and utilize your body and things of that nature and remake the body and things of that nature. But this is a good chemistry session that I'm giving you if you all will understand, and even to those that are out there that's in the bioengineering portion of medicine, understand that sometimes even if you leave a system running too long, that system is it's going to go into fight or flight, shut itself down until it destroys itself, and that you don't want. We don't want that. So like this morning, y'all see I have garlic powder. So I take garlic powder and put it in the egg along with some pepper, some black pepper. Like I said, I don't eat raw salt because it's not good. It's always good. It's better cooked for me. It doesn't make me feel good, so I don't eat it. But I'll do garlic powder and things of that nature. So that's why we say, whatever you decide that you want to do in life, understand that you have to know how to turn it off and turn it on. No matter if you're an occupational therapist and things of that nature, it doesn't matter whoever you are. With occupational therapists and all of them, y'all find your ins and outs, your entry and your exit. We already know we have an entry and then we have an exit. Sometimes it's just good to go into that state and get people out of what they call, we call it lying dormant, because it's like waiting on disease to happen. But you're not diseased. Sometimes we found that you're not diseased, but you're in a stage of disease. And that's just how I see it. You're diseased. You are diseased, but like we say, everybody don't look at it that way. Everybody does not look at life the same. They don't look at life the same. Life doesn't ring a bell to them like that. But you got some people, their minds does. Their minds ring the bell to them. It's not that they always want to know that. It's not that. It's just sometimes you just know things that because you can put it together and add it up and get the sum of it. You can do that. We can all do that. Be grateful for people that are that way. They're gifted. That's a gift. Don't be mad when God allowed for all of those things to be utilized. That's a gift. You don't have to be schooled when it comes to that. God, some people are gifted and they don't know that until and a lot of people in their families don't know that until they say what they say and do what they do, like things like that. So like I tell everybody, some people are gifted. I'm gifted, but I don't tell people. I'm not a big head because I know I got money. I have money in the bank. So that's why I say I'm not a big head. I don't need all the victories. I don't need all the victories because I have the victory. So those are the things that we all have to understand when it comes to when you're talking to people in high places. It doesn't matter how long they've been there. Sometimes you supersede their smartness. You supersede their smartness, and that's the thing. And that's why sometimes you don't qualify for the job. And I don't qualify for the job. And don't look to qualify for the job, but that's okay. You can be a help to them. You can become a help to them, to show them, look, let's lean this way, let's do this, let's be better in this area. Maybe we can get you some help in this. Maybe we can remind you that at one point you was this way. Those are the things that we all of us have to do. We all need that. sometimes we need to go back and do just like adrenaline does us, and that is correct us. Adrenaline, it corrects us to correct the body, and all that type stuff. A lot of people don't like when that happens, but it's time. There's a time and a place for everything. There is a season. God has a season in our life where when He comes to complete restoration, when God knows that it's time for us to go into complete restoration, you gotta move. If you don't move, you're gonna cease from troubling, and the weary is going to be at peace. And we don't want that. We don't want that. We want God to be the head of our lives. We want God to understand that we understand life itself. Life begins with amino acids, which is the basis of life. And it's the basic of life. An amino acid is the building block of life. If you never learned anything in science, sitting in class, the most important thing is you should know is that an amino acid is the building block of life. Like I said, I can barely remember my chemistry class while I was at UWA, but I remember it was so interesting. I remember it as being very interesting. But I don't even remember my teacher, believe it or not. I don't know. I think I graduated with an A out of the class. I don't know. Like the things that you like to do, you're going to do good. You will do well. You will supersede. You will exceed. You will exceed what is needed. But those are the things, like to those that are getting ready to go to college, those that are in high school, be selective of what you do, how long you go to school. It's just like shopping for anything else. Shop so that you won't drop, because you'll be like one semester you may have like 5 classes, next semester you may have like 4 classes. Like, I don't feel like getting up, I'm ready to drop, and you drop in the middle of the most important part. So like, don't add and drop classes and all that type stuff. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just, if you're gonna do it, do it. If you mess it up, it's messed up. I mean, there's no need for dropping and adding classes. Just do it. And if it don't work, you can always reconciliate those grades and have and have those grades removed. You can always remove those grades, because those grades you don't have to accept those classes as a part of your study. You can't do that. They can't. I mean, even though you took the classes, like, that didn't measure me good. So I don't like that class. Like, a lot of people go through, like, with it, let's see, what class did I have? My statistic class weighed a whole lot more than my microeconomic class. And I had the hardest time in microeconomics. For what reason, I don't even know. But when I walked into statistics, and I came out with an A. Matter of fact, I was getting ready to have my husband transplanted. Walked up to my teacher, and I asked him, I said, I'm getting ready to go and have this process done with my husband. And I said, I need to understand if and when I have to take my test. And he said, oh, don't even worry about it. You're already exempt. Because I worked so diligent. I worked very diligent, and I think I graduated out of that class probably with an A2 statistics. So, like, anything that I don't want measuring me, you ask for them to remove that from your. I mean, don't let just college be the last thing that you do. Like, I'm finished college. No, that's not. The process continues on, because we want a good report card. That's what we want, so that we can be funded by the state. They will continue to process us, and give us loans and things of that nature. Don't accept that stuff. Don't accept that. That's what I'm telling people. I'm advising y'all, if we're gonna try and reconciliate with the bankers, let's reconciliate on that basis. Ask if we can look at those classes that were a part of our studies, and we can maybe replace some grades with this grade. Look, I've improved. I've done this. I did this. Let's try and reconciliate on that basis. You know, don't be so hard to say you know I'm not paying that, and you allow for it to go into default. Don't default. Don't default. Don't default. We don't need that. All we want is for you to understand that you need to bring your classes to your deans and allow for them to sit down across the table and evaluate. You know, like I told y'all, like I only spent a little time as a teacher when I was while on the campus of UWA with child development. But let me tell you something. That class it meant everything to me. That moment meant everything to me. You know, don't walk away without class. That's the important part of you going to school, is to learn what class is. You know, you don't have to accept things in life. Don't accept things in life like that. And then now, like I said, you know, I remember my teacher, Dr. Wynn, and I want to tell him thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. My husband is once again he's maybe on the liver transplant list now. But anyways, we took our first chemo session and he feels so much better. He said he feels better, you know, but you know, we all, like we said, we don't live a perfect life. But we're making it and we're striving, and we have so many things and intentions on the table. And that's like my intention now. I'm working to get all of my things reconciliated, so that because I want to, when they graduate my degree, it's going to be at least a 4.0. I don't want that. Like, I don't want that stuff on I don't want that. So that's why I tell people, like, when you go, if you're considering going to college, go to college, get done with everything. No matter how long it takes, always bring it back to the drawing board. Do what it takes to make sure that you have what you need. Don't go after the loners, you know, things like that. Don't go after them. It's you that has the work to do now. So those are the things that I want to talk to people about. I'm grateful because, like I said, I don't a lot of people know that I'm one of the ones, if I had something to say, I'm going to write it. And you're going to see a picture of me. You're not really going to see a whole lot of me. You're not going to see a whole lot of me and hear too much of me, because I try to stay, I try to just stay out of media. But, like I said, I'm preparing to move forward. I've gotten an offer to do a VA fellowship, to attend a VA fellowship. I'm very excited. However, like I said, in the process, I'm asking, baby, because I need that. I want my life to be, after this little process we're going through, and hopefully it masters the test, and we'll be up and running again. I'm excited. It's tedious, very tedious. It's very strenuous on me. My mind is not really good. But like I said, although I take medicines, like sometimes it feels as if those medicines are shutting off too many processes for me. And it really is, because I'm not I don't stress. So that's why I said I like even me now. I need help because I'm not a stressor. I don't stress. It's hard to live that type of life for me. I don't stress over anything. I don't do that type of stuff. I feel like life is fair. It's fair. When you treat it right, it's fair. Life is fair, and we have to understand that God is good to us. I like I said, I said on the table. I've set it on the table to the politicians to allow for us as students and alumni to reconciliate our loans, but allow for us to first prove that our loans can be reconciliated. We can't have any forced injuries or anything like that. We can't do that. We do need that, although we do need that. And like everybody understand, my degree is one of the ones that's probably going, well, it probably will argue your case a little bit better. And it'll argue, but I can't argue the case. All I can do is to write in and pursue in a manner that is classy and professional. And those are the things that we all need to understand. Like, don't get in an uproar, don't protest, don't do all this stuff. That's not nature. That's not nature. It is not nature to do any of those things. And I want people to understand that. It's loud. I mean, we can be loud, especially like, I like to be loud, especially when I found my answer to everything. And most of the time, I'm one of the ones I already got the answer, but I think that's because when I'm looking at people, I'm like, I'm processing. Okay, I'm processing what's the next better thing for them to do. So those are the things that we do. A lot of people don't know how to sit in that place. They don't sit in that place. Although we have spokespersons that are out there, sometimes they need to hear from us. You know, you have a spokesperson, they're busy doing something else, and they need somebody else to help them out. Like, don't, like I always tell people, don't kill the deliverer. Do not kill the one that is trying to deliver you. But you get yourself in a place that you can accept what they're trying to do for you. And those are the things that we're talking, you know. We know all of these things. It's so simple. That is so simple to do. It's so easy to do. And let me show y'all my plant. Well, these are the eggs that I made, but they're so fluffy. Like, they're really, really fluffy. They're fluffy. And I like to basically just take it and I'm gonna show y'all how I do this. And it comes off of here. And look, I'm just doing this. I put it right there in that space. It's like all together, and I take a piece of cheese and put it on there, and I'm good. But anyways, like I stated to those that are out there, y'all, calm down. Don't be a problem to people. Stop being negative. Stop being negative. Get to work. Stop being negative and get to work. Don't say I don't have a resolution. Go find somebody to talk to. I'm going to keep on saying that because you're expected to do that. You are expected to do that, and we already know that. That's why I said, let me go out here and help my babies out. I love them. I love everybody, y'all. Like, there's nobody I don't love. But I can't stand to see anyone destroy themselves. I don't like that. I don't like that. Don't destroy yourself. You're going to be okay. Even though you can't figure it out, there's somebody out there that will figure it out. So I've gone to the politicians, to all that are out there, and I've requested some help for us. We need help. And like I told y'all earlier, I said, God told me that I'm going to need medicine. I'm not a person, I don't take medicine, like I said, because I know how to submit. Like, I'm a very submissive wife. I'm submissive. I don't care. Because that's just what it is. That's what's going to save your life. You're going to understand after a while what being submissive is. A lot of women don't know what submissiveness is. Here you go, Nick. I'm very submissive. I believe that. But that's only to save your life. Give you something to do that's going to be good. Impress that man that's sitting right there next to you, baby. Okay, that's what it is. That's the point of it that they want to see. But like I said, and then even those that are politicians want to see that with us. We're like, oh, we have somebody that understands. Those are the things that, like I always talk to y'all about, those sweeping unders. Don't do that. Don't do no sweeping unders. We don't do that. But we are those that we if you got up and you talked and you spoke in public speaking prepared you better to talk to somebody. What does it do? Okay. It prepared you to get up and say what you have to say.
When cyber threats target the world's data,
So,
seconds matter.
and I know if y'all took public speaking, you got up and said what you had to say. I hated to say in the beginning. I'm like, I have certain classes that put the fear of God in me greatly.
Technology independent AI-driven
The fear of God. When I said the fear of God is in me,
for security.
and that was one class that did put the fear of God in me. And it's like only probably like 2 classes. That class in microbiology, it really put the fear of God in me. But I must say public speaking provided us that opportunity to understand that you need to sit down, analyze, and then you need to project and move forward. So that's why I'm telling everybody now, look, y'all, if you start to receive blessings from from those that are politicians and those that are actually working in banking and they're trying to get us to a better place with these student loans, feel good about that. Join, if you don't know, like I said, if you don't know somebody that knows somebody, you may, like I said, you may want to revisit what you've studied. That may not be the profession for you. It may not be the profession for you. So that's what I want everybody to understand. It may not be the profession for you, but you are still an asset. Just don't feel lost. Don't get lost in the conversation of it, because sometimes the vocabulary of that's why I had to pull myself out, and I had to go and I introduced myself to a different vocabulary so that I could start understanding some things better. So that's why I say, I'm not a mean woman, but because I'm submissive and I don't like to disrespect. Like I said, a man is our everything. And I'm just saying it because this is what I've learned. I prayed and I had to ask God to teach me to be a wife, and not to be this right here. And that's what He taught me. He taught me to be quiet and to mentally be effective for my household so that my household can function. And those are the things that we like to share with those that are around us. The effective part of our household, what makes the household move and doesn't set it in a place where it's not functionable. Like when I went through we went through some crisis in our lives when things started to turn around, and I said, Lord, who is this that's reckoning with the government again? Because that's pretty much what it is. And I tell people, please don't reckon with them. Don't reckon with them if you don't have anything to bring to the table. If you don't have a solution, don't reckon with them. That's not good. That is not good. That's all of us that's up there at the White House, at the Capitol, in the Supreme Court. We're all up there. That's why I tell people, I'm like, yeah, you do have to watch me, because I will submit something to the Supreme Court. I need for you to look at this. I want you to look at this because I need for us to have this. We all are capable of doing this. We can do this, but can we? When is it that we all can come to a point and make this happen? It can happen. It can happen. We're parents. We're young parents, and we have assets that we put together for our kids, and we want our kids to have it not later, but now. Our kids got up, they endured, the hardship of going when they didn't feel like it, and they have some things on the table for them, and we want them to have these things. We're not troubling you. But what we're doing now is we're bringing everything that we have, everything that we created, and we're continuously creating, and we want you to stay on board with us. If you don't mind, if you would join in and be on board with us, we would really love it. A lot of people tell me, they're like, you tell so much. Yeah, I do tell, but my tale is a good tale. I tell because I'm a good resource. I just leave it like that. I'm good. And like I tell people, I don't care how you look at me. You can look at me, but but I'm really in it to help you. I'm here to help you. I don't say nothing. Like when I left college, I was very depressed because I had depressed myself. I needed to push myself so that I can get the best out of me. I'm one of the ones Like, you know, you gotta press me, so like just like this olive oil, you know, if you press me, my hair gonna shine, like it's gonna shine like you're pressing me. You're gonna see that shine in my hair. My oil follicles, the sebaceous glands, they stay oily, they stay healthy. I mean, you can press the heck out of me, and I'm gonna survive it all. And that's how I see it. And that, like I said, to those that are out there, those that are in the classes that are, you know, older than I am, give us a minute. Give us a minute. Give us a minute. We're here. We're here. I'm here. I'm going to be the spokesperson for the ones that don't know how to speak or that's afraid to speak. I'll be the spokesperson. And I want y'all to understand, I've placed some things on the table to be investigated, and I believe it will work. I've seen some of the things come across the television and that's being televised that I've sent in. And that's why I say it's working. And it's everything that is made is good and very good. When God was in the Garden of Eden, he said it was good, and everything that he created was good and very good. Don't allow for it to spoil. Don't spoil each other's life through your vengeance. God said vengeance is mine. So that's what I'm saying. You know, qualify for the job. And then after qualifying, like a lot of times, a lot of people gonna say she's overqualified. No, she's not overqualified. She just have her tendencies are going to exceed. If you do put her in a place, she's going to exceed. But that's because, you know, like I tell, like when you have people that are hungry and they're hungry for the right stuff, when they're really hungry, they're gonna get in, they're gonna do what they gotta do and move out. It don't take long. We can do it. It don't take us long to do what we gotta do. Sometimes it may take a little bit longer, but when you're hungry, you're gonna move in, do what you have to do, and move out of the way. And then you allow for somebody else to take the floor. Until the next time, like I said, stay safe, stay informed, stay around those that are good to you. You know, we need those that are good to us. Those that are encouraging us to better. Those that are seeking better. You know, you don't need, like we say, you can't look at the book, the outside of the book, and tell what the inside look like half of the time. We cannot do that. So until the next time, y'all stay safe, stay well, and most importantly, love. That's what I'm going to challenge y'all to do. Until the next time, we love y'all, and Happy New Year.